the throw in. Lewis gets on with it quickly. Cherky, though, loses out. And he's won a throw in, though, Cherky. Played for Lyon last season. Played in that infamous match at Old Trafford against Manchester United, where Man United came from behind quite dramatically on their way to reaching the final to lose to Spurs, of course. And City, as so often the case, monopolising the ball in these early exchanges, but pressure from Spurs has forced them back, and the referee's happy to let that go as Spurs win the ball back. Spence easing Rico Lewis off the ball. And the ball is now back with Vicario, who missed a chunk of last season through injury. Playing all in orange today, the Spurs goalkeeper. Spence will do well to keep that in. He chests it down. He's immediately under pressure from Lewis, and the referee has given a foul. Lewis is maybe asking why the one on him wasn't given as a foul a few moments ago. An interesting battle between Lewis and Spence on that side of the field. Spence recently signed a new long-term deal at Spurs. Did play for England under-21s, but has never played for the first team. Of course, Rico Lewis, very much a contender for international selection. Only 20 years old, already got 5 caps under his belt. Ball clipped forward, looking for the run of Marmoush. Might have gone early. Flag stays down, and Marmoush has it on the left wing, but he's given the ball away there to Sarr, and Spurs will try and come out, but to no avail. A couple of loose touches early doors from Sarr. And so City back in possession of the ball. John Stones. Oh, slips as he tries to find Cherky. Slightly got away with it. Cherky put Spurs under pressure. They couldn't take advantage of that slip from Stones. Spurs there. Free kick for Spurs, give them a chance midway through the City half to maybe get a ball towards the box. Perrault stood over it. Romero's gone up from the back. The defensive line about 5 yards up from the edge of the penalty area. Perrault clips it in, and a number of Spurs players go early, but it comes to the back post. It's headed across, and Haaland has to clear it away. Doing some defensive work, the Norwegian striker. Marmoush feels he was fouled trying to chase the loose ball, but it'll settle with Spence, who drills it forward. Very nice touch in there from Kudus to retain possession for Spurs, signed from West Ham in the off-season, and Spurs just deciding to recycle possession of the ball here. Polina, well, tried to measure a ball forward looking for Kudus, but got it all wrong. Pellegrini back in the Premier League. Was at Fulham previously and went to Bayern Munich. Didn't quite work out for him there. And he's back now with Spurs, albeit on loan. It was a bit of a false start, his move to Bayern Munich in the first place. He was going to go the year previous, but ran out of time on deadline day. As there was a foul here by Haaland on Richarlison, and it's in a dangerous position. Stones clipped it up. Haaland had come deep to hold the ball up and sort of trod on the back of Richarlison's heel. And it's actually a free kick in a dangerous position for Spurs. They might consider a shot on goal here, and it's a bit of a cheap one for Man City to concede. Porro and Kudus have stood over it. It's perhaps a little wider out than you would choose, but it's still very much in shooting range for Pedro Porro, who looks the most likely candidate to have a go here. James Trafford hasn't barely had a touch of the ball in this match, but he's having to measure out his wall here. Came through the ranks at Man City, James Trafford, but had to go elsewhere to establish himself as a first-team player. Re-signed from Burnley in the summer. City linked with Gianluigi Donnarumma. It's going to be Pedro Porro to shoot. Hits it straight into the wall, but it comes back out to Porro, who drives it on the half volley. It's into the side netting. It was a disappointing first effort from Porro, but he reacted well, and it was a good hit from the rebound. Trafford, I think, would have had it covered, but it was wide anyway. It'll be interesting to see whether Donnarumma is someone who Man City purchase in this left. Porro tried to cushion it back to Vicario, but he'd given the goalkeeper a bit too much to Diaz at the point of the attack. I'm not sure what he's seen there. Diaz, he's clipped it forward and it's been seen out for a Spurs goal kick. Spurs, it's their turn to try and play it out from the back and beat the Man City side. Now Benton Kurt slides it across to Romero. For 13.5 minutes, Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Pedro Porro drive into the side netting. And then Omar Mamouche squeezing a shot right across the face of goal. The only real sightings of goal that we've had in these opening exchanges. Spurs struggling to get out away from this Man City press, but they are retaining the ball. Benton Kurt plays it across to Romero, who's in his own penalty area. Backed into a little bit of a corner by Mamouche, but Benton Kurt helps him get out of it. And that's nice play by Spurs, led by Rodrigo Benton Kurt, who clips it forward for Sarr, who was surely offside. Perhaps wouldn't have got to it anyway. But nice bit of play by Rodrigo Benton Kurt to help Spurs get out from that press. There's a worry for Man City here as Nuri has gone down. Might Man City be forced into a change here? Nathan Ake is out warming up. Don't know whether it was in that challenge he had with Kudus. A bit earlier, but a little bit of a worry for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. It's like a left ankle problem for Nuri. Just landed a bit awkwardly when he was blocking the pass from Kudus. It was impressive for Wolves last season, Nuri, and that earned him the deal to City on a 5-year deal, 31.8 million. Played in the Club World Cup, Algeria international. He's received treatment, he's back on his feet, he's going off to the sideline now. Looks like he will be okay to continue. And we're back underway. The referee dropping the ball back at the feet of John Stones. Man City just about shading the possession, 55% for them so far in this opening 17 minutes. Stones plays it up the line for Bob. Spence thought about intercepting the pass, but then decided to just contain Bob, who lays off to Rico Lewis. Back to Bob again. across to Mamouche. Reinders is in a good position, but Mamouche shoots himself. He's beaten away by Vicario. Haaland nearly brings in the rebound, and in the end it's tidied up by Romero. Spurs try and play their way out of it, though, and it's come back to bite them almost, but Diaz is tackled by Bentancur. Spurs seem reluctant to just clear the ball as Bentancur simply passes it out to the side. Nearly cost them. Nuri back on the field and plays the ball back to James Trafford. Spence wins the header. Bob, lovely touch to bring it out of the air, and he's found some space now. Reinders driving forward. He's got Mamouche to his left. He's got Haaland through the middle. Reinders might go himself. I'm not sure whether he was maybe caught in two minds there, the Dutchman. He wasn't really a shot, wasn't really a pass. Looked dangerous as he ran through. Was in the Serie A team of the year last season, Reinders, while at AC Milan. Voted the best midfielder in the Italian top flight. Goal and an assist on his City debut last week against Wolves. Nathan Ake still out there warming up, so there must still be some concern over Nuri, who isn't moving too cleverly. His home debut, of course, for Manchester City. Might be ending prematurely as Cherky tries to release Mamouche down the left-hand side, but the pass is just in front of the wide man, and it's a Spurs throw-in. Interesting to see Ake. A number of City players linked with maybe moves elsewhere. Manuel Akanji, another one who's been linked with Galatasaray. Here's Cherky now for City. Nice layoff by Mamouche. Now Reinders plays a ball across the box with the outside of his right foot from the left, but no one in there. Spence is going to try and let that run out for a goal kick, and in the end he succeeds. Ake is now taking on some instruction, and it very much looks like he's going to be making an appearance. We're not even at the midway point of the first half yet, and looks like Man City are going to be forced into their first change. And Nuri has now gone, sat back down, and it looks like his race is run. Ake is now stripped, ready to come on. Unfortunate for Nuri on his home debut for Manchester City. He's only lasted 21 minutes and he's been forced off through injury. Played 37 times, only missed one game for Wolves in the Premier League last season. Gets a warm round of applause. He is a dejected figure as he traipses off. And of course it might well impact the future of Nathan Ake. No suggestion that City were going to let him go. But of course an injury for Nuri might well change any plans that perhaps Pep Guardiola had of moving Ake on. They do have Kushanov as well. bench. So Ake on for 8 Nuri. We're back underway. Spence is making a really strong overlapping run on the outside of Brennan Johnson. He gets the ball back to Johnson. Just for a moment, looked like it might open up for Spurs, but Johnson's touch went beyond him. Just past the midway point in the first half at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Here comes Benson Kerr, trying to retain possession of the ball, almost gets harried out of it by Bob. Now Spence with a bit of space on the left hand side, a raking left foot pass across field, looking for Kudus on the far side, but there's too much on it. They go out for a throw in near to the corner flag. Spence again on the left-hand side for Tottenham. Slides it down the channel for Johnson. Might have gone early. Flag has stayed down as it invariably does, just to see what happens. Is it going up? No, it's going to be a throw-in for Spurs in an attacking position. Throws it down the line back for Van de Ven. Polina helps it on. Spurs just having a spell on the ball. Vicario goes long, looking for the run of Kudus. Ake's followed him. Kudus holds the ball up nicely for Richarlison, who's barely seeing the ball. I think he's touched it 5 times so far in the match. Fewest of all but one player on the pitch. Some space for Mamouche on the left-hand side. Oh, he can't bring it in, though, and that's an opportunity wasted. Mamouche slaps his thigh in frustration because he had a lot of space there if he could have brought it in. Seemed to have enough time to bring it down. Just completely missed his attempt to control the ball. Just the one shot on target so far. It was more of a cross, really, that was saved by Vicario. It's in the dime of Mamouche. Here's Reinders, finds Mamouche on the left-hand side. He's backing Pedro Porro into the box. Plays it back, Mamouche. I think he was looking for Cherky on the edge of the box, but it's snuffed out by Spurs. But City have won the ball back high up the pitch. Gonzalez across to Ruben Diaz. Now Rico Lewis out. Oh, and he was looking for Bob on the right-hand side, but the pass was well behind Bob and sails out for a throw-in. Here comes Erling Haaland. Gets beyond and a ball in from Mamouche, and Vicario is out well to save one-on-one. Nice play from Haaland, driving through the middle. Nice slide rule through ball for Mamouche, who struck it well, but Vicario was quickly off his line and saved. That's the best chance of the match so far. Now a foul on Haaland. Bentancur has looked tidy in parts, but has given the ball away on a couple of occasions. Free kick for City. Cherky stood over it. It's in maybe an awkward spot for... He played it short rather than clip it into the box, and Spurs have blocked Mamouche's attempted cross. It's headed out. Now Richarlison helps it on, looking for Johnson, and they've all of a sudden got 2-on-1 here, Spurs. Kudus waiting for some support, Kudus, and City come flooding back. They've done really well there, because for a moment there it looked like they were going to be outnumbered. Spurs did win 4-0 at the Etihad last season, albeit under a different manager. James Maddison scored 2 goals. He's out for the season, of course. And they're also missing Dejan Kulusevski, and Timo Werner missed out. Well, it looks like they've missed out on the signing of Eberiche Eze. They missed out on the signing of Morgan Gibbs-White. But still, Spurs have put together a team capable of competing against Manchester City. Man City missing a few themselves. Gvardiol and Kovacic on the sidelines with Savinho, who's been linked with a move to Spurs. He is absent with a hamstring injury. We've had half an hour. Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Here's Jed Spence at left back. Right foot crossfield ball for Kudus. Lovely first touch on his left thigh by Kudus. Bentancur and Paulinho link up. Bentancur covering a lot of ground. He's getting on the ball plenty for Thomas Frank's side. Paulinho across to Porro. So Omar Mamouche with the best chance of the match. Snuffed out by some good goalkeeping from Vicario. As a long ball forward looking for Johnson. He's headed out by Stones. Spurs haven't really got close to the doing anything in the final third. Pedro Porro had that rising drive into the side net, and after his free kick had been blocked by the wall. But other than that, although they've had possession, generally they've not been able to get in behind City in the final third. Kudus having a run at Nathan Ake. Mamouche comes back to close it down. Now here's Bentancur. Spurs just enjoying a little run of possession, but each time they're forced back to Vicario just to retain it. This time Vicario goes long. Johnson was offside, so can't go for it. And the ball is back with Trafford. foul on Bob, who's being lively. Oscar Bob playing on the right-hand side for City. And in fact, he has earned Brennan Johnson a yellow card there. The first one of the afternoon. Bob came through the youth ranks at City, who'd plucked him from his homeland in Norway. Spurs give away the ball, but again, Mamouche can't make the most of it. Ryan does his pass a bit too strong. Now, a chance for Spurs as Richarlison gets behind, plays it across for Brennan Johnson, and Spurs have scored their first shot on goal, but the flag goes up. Or does it? It does. I'm sure we'll see a replay, but Richarlison just got in behind briefly there, put it on a plate for Johnson, who'd just been booked, thought he'd scored the first goal, but the flag is up. It's very close. Kudus' flick on, it was slip from Diaz, didn't help. It was a great ball from Richarlison, put it on a plate for Johnson, who fired it past Trafford. The flag went up. It's very close, and in fact we are going to have a pause while it's checked by VAR. He might be onside, you know. It was the linesman who flagged. But looking at the pictures in front of us now, this might well stand, and Tottenham Hotspur might have taken the lead here against Manchester City. And Richarlison, who scored 2 goals on the opening day, might have got an assist to the opening goal of this one. He's been allowed to run through. There was no problem with Johnson. He was behind the ball when he shot. And I think this is going to be a goal, and I think Tottenham Hotspur have taken the lead here. We still wait for confirmation, and the Spurs fans are going to erupt when this is signalled. No real celebration for Spurs, and indeed, there goes the signal. Spurs take the lead. Brennan Johnson, perhaps somewhat muted celebration. They didn't celebrate when the goal went in because the flag went up straight away. But the video referee has confirmed that Richarlison was onside. And Spurs, who won 4-0 here last season, are now 1-0 up. 36.5 minutes on the clock. Manchester City 0, Tottenham 1. First shot on goal for Spurs. And it's ended in the back of the net. Trafford got a hand on it, but it was too strong for him to keep out. And well, first goal City have conceded in the Premier League this season, and they're going to have to come from behind. Last season, Tottenham dropped more points from a winning position than anybody else. 29 points they squandered. Of course, under Ange Postecoglou. What a fillip it will be for their season if they can prevent a repeat of that here. maybe some eyebrows raised when Postecoglou's services were dispensed of, despite them winning the Europa League, but they finished 17th in the Premier League last season. It's not good enough for Spurs. But 2 wins from 2 at the start of this campaign would be more than good enough, but they've still got 52 minutes to hold on. 7 minutes to go to half-time. Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Brennan Johnson's goal. Stones clips it up for Haaland, beaten by Bentancur. Romero heads it. Palhinha finds Bentancur. Bentancur thinks had a good game, and now a ball forward that wasn't aimed for Kudus, and Kudus might get there. Trafford out on the edge of his box, just about keeps it away from Richarlison. Spurs still alive with Porro. He goes dribbling into the box, goes down right on the edge of the box under the challenger Reinders. Referee unmoved. Porro stayed down. But a couple of incidents to review there for the video official. Now a ball lobbed forward for Bob, who looks like he's through in the middle initially, but Spence turns on the afterburners and eases him off. And then Vicario might have given Romero too much, so you know Romero just gets there. The referee's going to halt the game here. Porro still down after that challenge by Reinders. Right on the edge of the box. Well, he stood on Porro's trailing leg. Might have got a touch on the ball. If it was in the box, I dare say that this might have been a penalty review, but initially it was Kudus who got through. Trafford a little bit reckless coming out of his box. Didn't really get the ball. Kicked Kudus. It more hit Trafford than anything else. And 2 incidents on the edge of the Manchester City box that might have otherwise led to free kicks for Spurs. Had they been in the penalty area, I dare say we might have been having a debate over whether they would be penalties. Of course, the VAR can't come back and assess on these for being free kicks, so it's just a case of waiting for Pedro Porro to receive treatment. But had both of those incidents occurred a yard further forward from a Tottenham point of view, they might well have had a penalty kick. Porro still receiving treatment. So we'll have some stoppage time at the end of this first half, I have no doubt. It's going to be a throw-in for Spurs, where the ball had gone out previously. Porro trotting back down the touchline now. Appears to be okay to continue. As the ball breaks for Johnson, plays it forward a little rashly, looking for Richarlison, which has gone out for a throw-in, which Ake will take. But Kudus only had eyes for the ball. Trafford for me, it was more the knee to Kudus' chest that I was contemplating, but it did appear to come off Trafford's right arm as well, and he's out of the penalty area. Good footing by Johnson, wins the ball off Lewis, who doesn't give up the chase, and Spence is now being backed into a corner, and he's managed to see it out well for a goal kick as Jed Spence. Certainly be a talking point, that incident involving James Trafford wearing the number 1 shirt for Manchester City, keeping long time first choice Ederson out of the team. It was ill Ederson on the opening day, but back in the match day squad for this one. Spence clips the ball forward. It's intercepted by Gonzalez. Reinders to Cherky. Cherky slips and Richarlison nips it away from him. Cherky's gone down, but Richarlison races away. Sarr's giving him an overlap on the left-hand side. Kudus is in the middle. What will Sarr do? He's backing Stones up into the box, and in the end, overplays his card. Cherky managed to make his way back and win the ball back, and well, he's making a meal out of getting out of the corner, is Cherky. Sarr, I think, wanted to see that out for a throw-in. In the end, the ball stopped dead, so now Spence has it. He plays it off Bob for a throw-in. Cherky originally had stayed down, but then ended up coming back to influence the play and win the ball back for Manchester City, who trail 1-0. The defeat to Spurs really came in that period of woe that Manchester City suffered last season. It was the 5th defeat in a row when they went down to Spurs, and that was when the collapse was at its most extreme. They've turned things around since then. They've got 27 points out of the last 33 in the Premier League. But their unbeaten run at risk here. They're 1 goal down against Tottenham Hotspur. Benton Kerr. Now Van de Ven strides forward out the back for Spurs. Lays it back for Spence. In the final minute of the first half, we will have some stoppage time at the end of it, I'm sure. Now Kudus wants to have a run at Ake. Instead slides it down the line for Paulinho, who'd made a good run. Paulinho clips it into the box. Headed half away by Diaz. Sarr keeps it alive for Kudus. He rolls it out to Paulinho, who's still up there. Pulls it back. Paulinho wins a corner. And Spurs ending the first half with a little bit of a flourish here. It's the first corner of the match. As we tick over to 45 minutes, we'll wait to see a board from the 4th official. It's going to be 7 additional minutes. Had a stoppage for that VAR check. Pedro Porro with a knock. Of course, Nuri went down a couple of times as well. In comes the corner, left-footed from Kudus. Referee had blown his whistle before he'd taken it. Richarlison heads it against the post anyway. Referee's having a word with, I think, Christian Romero. And we'll have a retake. Inevitably, once the referee's had a word with some players, you often see a free kick almost given immediately as the next ball comes in. Let's see what happens here with Kudus. Left foot delivery again towards Richarlison at the back post. I think Mamouche got to it first and actually headed it against Richarlison for a Man City goal kick. I wonder if City will be able to mount a fight back before the half-time whistle. Still 6 minutes of added on time left to go. Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Oh, Trafford's given the ball away. Richarlison sits Trafford down. Trafford rescues it. It's driven goalwards. And Paulinho makes it 2-0. And it's a howler from James Trafford. He gave the ball almost straight to Richarlison in his own penalty area. And although he recovered to deny Richarlison initially, Paulinho crashes home the loose ball. And in first half stoppage time, it's Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. And Trafford on his home debut. Makes a right meal of things. Paulinho crashed it through bodies, but it was Richarlison and Pape Sarr's determination that created the chance. And Spurs in dreamland here. They've doubled their lead away at Manchester City. Palhinha's first goal in the Premier League since a 3-3 draw against Sheffield United back in March 2024, when, of course, he was at Fulham. He has scored past James Trafford before as well in that same season. Scored at Turf Moor when Fulham drew 2-2 there. What a position Spurs find themselves in. A dream start to the new Premier League season under Thomas Frank. Having won their first game 3-0 over Burnley, they find themselves 2-0 up away at Manchester City. Reinders flicks it to Mamouche. Now Nathan Ake clips the ball forward, looking for the run of Cherky. Romero just gets a touch on it, and a good covering from Spence. And then Porro tidies it up well. Still going, Porro. Might have overran his card a little bit. Richarlison loses his balance. It's a free kick. Porro, I think, just got a bit too carried away, having initially done some good work. Here's Bob, stood up by Spence. We'll go to the byline. Bob Spence had won the ball, but then slips as he goes to clear it, and City will have their first corner of the afternoon. Still a couple of minutes of this injury time left. Cherky will go across to take. Right-footed. It'll be an outswinger. Not the best delivery, headed out of the front post by Pedro Porro. Rico Lewis scampers back to get the ball for Manchester City. Every man behind the ball for Spurs at the moment. Lewis clips a ball to the left to Mamouche, who's had City's best chance of the match. He's running at Palhinha now. Oh, he almost loses out, manages to find Gonzalez. He plays it across to Cherky. Cherky shapes with his left foot with a cross. It's headed out by Palhinha. And then Palhinha keeps it away from Ake. Reinders on the left-hand side. Plays it across to Cherky. Now to Oscar Bob on the right side of the penalty area. Plays it into Cherky. Bit tight in there, and in the end it's cleared by Spence. Kudus challenges Diaz in the air. Diaz, though, keeps the ball for City. Now Reinders. This might be the last opportunity they get at the end of this first half. Mamouche shapes to cross. Porro closes him down. Still going Mamouche, then clips it in. Headed away by Romero. Now Cherky to Oscar Bob. Turns away from Romero, who's well out of position. Still going, Bob goes down as he enters the penalty area. Nothing given. Referee points to the corner flag. And they probably will have enough time to get this corner in, Manchester City. In it comes. Haaland heads over the bar. That's a good chance. Off the corner, Haaland. Scored on the opening weekend, as he has done on every season. His fourth season now at Man City. Scored in the opening day on every occasion. Couldn't keep that header down. And there goes the half-time whistle. Tottenham Hotspur lead 2-0. The first came when Richarlison's flick-on released. When Kudus' flick-on released Richarlison, and he put it on a plate for Brennan Johnson to fire home. The flag went up for offside straight away, but the video referee checked it, and Richarlison was onside, so that counted. That put Spurs in front, and then in first half stoppage time, a howler from James Trafford gifted possession to Richarlison in the penalty area, and after Trafford had poked the ball away from the Brazilian, João Palhinha crashed home for his first Spurs goal work to do for Pep Guardiola at half-time, because the half-time score at the Etihad Stadium is Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur